And joining us now in the studio to talk more about the Taliban advance in Helmand Province is Michael Kugelman. He's an international relations expert specializing in South and Southeast Asia studies. Michael, good to see you. Welcome back to the broadcast.
Thanks. Great to be here.
So we're hearing conflicting reports there, as we heard in our report just now, that it hasn't fallen yet, but sometime on Wednesday, this area is expected to fall to the Taliban. We know it's rich in opium. This is a drug center. What is actually behind all of this, and did they see this coming?
Well, here's the fact of the matter. The world's attention is on ISIS and what it's doing. But very slowly, the Taliban is taking over what is the largest province in Afghanistan. As you say, it's very drug-rich. This is where much of the opium is produced. Clearly, we had to see this coming. Afghan security forces are not in a position to deal with the Taliban on its own. We've seen that the Taliban has been making major progress in areas far beyond its strongholds. Helmand, of course, is an area where it typically has had a stronghold. Many British and American lives were lost trying to keep away the Taliban, and yet, of course, the Taliban is very close to taking over this largest province in Afghanistan, and that is very scary.
We know that U.S. and British forces have been sent in some type of advisory role. Will there be more help on the way?
I think so. I mean, basically, the rules of engagement are such that NATO forces can't really play a combat role in Afghanistan unless they're asked to come in and help by the Afghan security forces. That's been happening so much lately because Afghan security forces can't do things on their own. The question is whether the rules of engagement will change so that NATO forces no longer need to wait to get permission from the Afghans before they come in to fight, and that could save a lot of precious time. But I think we will see international forces involved, not in a combat role unless they're asked to, but clearly the stakes are too high in Helmand to just depend on Afghan forces.
So this would open up the area for the routes for the drug traders, obviously, in this area. So that is one factor. But is the Taliban on the move? What's next?
Oh, they're in so many places at so many different times. I mean, they're doing things in Kabul. They took the city of Kunduz in the northern parts of Afghanistan a few months ago. There's so much happening, and this is a nationwide insurgency. This is not a localized threat. And a lot of people, I think, still don't understand that here in Washington. This is a bona fide threat that's much more serious than ISIL.
I see. We know that the deputy governor, actually, of Helmand Province has actually gone on social media. He made a plea to Ashraf Ghani on Facebook saying, "We need your help." We've seen ISIL really motivate people through social media. And here you have the deputy governor of Helmand Province trying to motivate people through Facebook. What does this tell us about the times that we're in now?
Well, the interesting thing is that, you mentioned ISIL. ISIL is developing a major presence in Afghanistan. That actually helps the Taliban. It strengthens it because the Taliban can project itself as a more moderate alternative to ISIL. The Taliban can say, look, ISIL is in Afghanistan beheading someone or a few people every day, and the Taliban can say, well, no, we don't do things like that. We're here to present a better alternative to the Afghan government.
So they're competition.
They are competition. It can help strengthen recruitment into the Taliban insurgency, particularly since many Afghans see the government as illegitimate, corrupt, not worth supporting.
What do you expect we'll see over the next few days, Michael, as this unfolds?
Well, I fear that Helmand could fall completely. I think that we could see the Taliban making other inroads in other places very quickly. And I think that, unfortunately, what we're seeing now unfold in Helmand could happen in a number of other provinces unless things change in a drastic way.
Michael Kugelman, great to see you. Thank you for coming in. We really appreciate your time, as always.